Rockshox SuperDeluxe Ultimate. Low speed compression, high speed compression, hydraulic bottom out, 350 spring. It feels really good. Maybe just a touch stiff for me this spring, but I think we're good. I think we are good. Let's go see how it goes. SuperDeluxe Ultimate 2023. So on the top here, hydraulic bottom out by a 3mm Allen key. It's on full open at the moment, which feels great. It feels great. Adding it feels like there's more bottom out support. Absolutely, it's killer. This is perfect. Perfect, and it's going to be more put to the test when I get a softer spring. So this is a 350 and I'm just stiff. I'm ever so slightly stiff. I thought going a little stiffer in the mid would be good, but I'm scratching pedals and I'm stiff. I'm scratching pedals and I'm just a little touch stiff. So we're going to play around. I'm going to get a 325 nuke proof on the way. Should be good, should be sweet, should fit perfectly. It's 38 diameter and whatnot. And we're going to run this thing maybe a couple of turns. So that's no turns of preload. That's got a quarter. They say minimum 2, max 5. But that's only got half a turn. It's probably a half a turn to a quarter. Probably a quarter a turn there. So it's minimum preload, like I would on a normal shock. So, but if I get this nuke proof, I can load that up a little bit for 325. So a 325 on my Marzocchi shock is too soft. I have to go full 2 turns of preload. So that's max on those shocks, 2 turns of preload on those coils. I think it's different with the amount of material as well. Bigger, longer coil, more material, wider diameter. It's just different. It's just, I don't know, it might not be different, but I feel like those lighter springs are a little bit harsher. And if you wind them on too much, they get really, really stiff. So maybe there's less, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe these are better. Hang on a sec, and we're back. Anyway, enough chitter chatter about the spring. First impressions damping wise. So I got that on 1 click on the low speed. So if you got, I'm just going from open as I always do. We got it open. That's -2, I guess you'd call it. Let's call it -2. 1, 2, middle was great. Just a little bit much with this coil, but it's great. It's very stable, gives you heaps to push against, but doesn't feel rough. But with the high spring, with a little bit too much spring, it does feel a bit rough. It's too much on the feet. It's more of what I want, but because I've got so much spring, I can't have it all. I've got to back off of that to counter that little bit too much spring. If I didn't have enough, if I had less spring, that would be killer. And now the high speed. So hydraulic bottom out is there. High speed is right there. That's on all full zero as well. And I went back and forth today. Went 1, went 2, and it was rough. So too much high speed compression as well, relative to the spring rate again. So when I go to that 325, I might find myself leaning and looking for just one of these, maybe 1 click. You know, it's -2 again. It's -2, 0, +2. But to me, that's full open. We're just open. So climb switch, no idea. I never ever use a climb switch, so I'll try that as we go forward. But yeah, I never use a climb switch. I couldn't care less about a climb switch. Climb switch is only good on bitumen. No good on the bumpy dirt. It just makes your bike slower or puts more fatigue into your legs, I think anyway. But this hydraulic bottom out is absolutely killer, for sure. Bouncing around on the street, I tested it a fair bit, but I didn't test it on the trail today because I didn't need it. I didn't need it at all. At full open, I had perfect amount of bottom out resistance, perfect amount. And this bike, on every other setup that I've had, to have it soft enough, doesn't quite have the bottom out resistance. Beautiful thing about the Rockshox I absolutely love is, you can't see it from the side, coil sag increments. Yeah, boy. Love it. I love it. So push the bottom out bumper, which is a killer bottom out bumper as well. It must be killer because I was going through all the travel and never felt the bottom. Never felt it. Like never felt the clap. It just ramped and then pushed me back, which is partially to do with a little bit of, I think when it's in absolute nothing mode, this hydraulic bottom out support, it's still got more support than a coil without that, for sure. But yeah, love that. So I'm at 29% sag on this 350 with a quarter to closer to a half. I'd say it's a quarter, but it's closer to a half. It's probably a half. Let's say it's a half turn of preload. 350, half turn of preload. 78 on the scales this morning. A little bit pudgy at the moment. So 80 dressed probably. 80 dressed to flex. And it's just a little stiff for me. So 325, I'll drop a few kgs. We'll see where we're at. Might be a quicker bottom out support. 2 clicks maybe of bottom out support. It'll be another click of compression, which I want. I want that another click of low speed compression, but it is, oh, that speed, we're riding Moriata, and at speed it was killer. But on the slower stuff, it was square. It was a little square, like the last series of turns, coming into that first rocky left, rocky right. On Moriata, it's just a little too square edges. Feels like square edges instead of being soft. So I want it soft, spring-wise, but then resistant to use travel, compression-wise. And then resistant to bottom out. With bottom out support, this thing is killer. But it's just heavy as a dog. You might as well have a dog in your frame, like. It's heavy. So, nuke-proof spring will be a bit lighter. Not sure how much lighter yet, but we'll see. Hitter. This fork, I've gone back and forth, 38. I've always run one token on this. Feels killer. One token, just killer. I thought I want more. Like I remember, I'd watched some old videos of the Slash with the Lyric with the B1 when I had it set up the best. And it was so good. And this is good as well. This is killer as well. This is up there as well. But in the winter, it just doesn't feel as good as in the warmer months. Maybe not, I don't know. So I've been back and forth. Anyway, went to no token. A little bit too stiff off the top for the amount of support throughout and the amount of free speed and its ability to keep you moving, keep you going. So great on a higher speed thing, but on slower speed it was just too much. It wouldn't get into the travel. It was just a little deflecty. So we went to 2 tokens, and it just gives a hollow spot at the top. It just gives a little hollow spot at the top. So when you're bashing into a turn hard, you bash into it, and then you kind of got to get off the fork a little bit, because you know that that little bump in the middle of the berm is going to compress it, and if it compresses it, it'll dive as it compresses, and then spit you out hard with too much energy. Oh, there we go, chemtrails. Can't tell me that's a plane, just a contrail. Who knows? Who knows? They're always doing some dodgy stuff, aren't they? But this fork feels killer. I'm back, yeah, anyway, I'm back at 1 token, my oldie goldie, and it feels killer. Fine tuning, should find it good, but 102, I can probably go to 101 and play a bit more compression. I ended up opening up that high speed eventually again, so no high speed in this. It's probably 20 today, temperature, 20 degrees Celsius. Killer day. Best day ever, like, have a look at it. Have a look at it, and then we got a little bit of hay going in the background. But killer day. Nearly the end of it today, and now they just, this is their 3rd one, Savo. They've done 3 of them. One there, and then, yep. But the bike was so good. This thing was killer. So far, so good. But we will put the Marzocchi straight on now. I'm going to put the Marzocchi on. So this is in the mid position as well, sorry. This is in the mid position out the back as well, which is mullet. So we got mullet. Should be high position for the mullet really, because I'm scratching pedals everywhere, even though I'm a touch stiff, like I said. So I'm going to go high position, 343 spring, 343 Island spring, which kind of feels a bit weird. It's a bit of a different spring to the other springs, but it feels like it's good as well. So we'll see what that comes out with. And the Marzocchi's killer now. Light compression, light rebound, that Marzocchi's killer. But with the standard tune, it's not good at all. More on that. If you want me to drop a full review of the Marzocchi Bomber and my time over the years with the 3 different ones that I've bought, how they've changed and whatnot, I'll do that as well. But for now, this is the focus. This back to back with the Marzocchi Bomber.